It is round 2 of the South African Rotax Max Challenge here in Benoni. And man, if you thought round 1 in Killarney was something, wait till you see what we have in store for you. Best of the best in South African karting. You don't want to go anywhere. Stay tuned right here.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, as we head on to our DD2s, heat number 1, Brandon Smith leading it out, Joseph Oles in second place, Jason Kutsia in third, and Sebastian Boyd lying in fourth place, looking to try and get one up on each other. The DD2s being one of your favorite classes, Prince?
Absolutely. The sheer sound of DD2s going down the main straight, approaching turn 1 and 2. Let's see how it plays out. A bit wider now, but let's play. Ooh, do we keep it clean? Yes, we do. Very nice. The experience showing there. There's the big boys after all, so you can't expect drama early on. But it looks like one of the Smith brothers. Yes, it is. That is Jamie Smith out in the lead, taking advantage of his Ricardo / Burrell. And in second place, in tow, is another Burrell. The Burrell of Jason Kutsia. Jason Kutsia is a cosmic card. Let me fix up my eyes and see what's going on there.
Jason really doing everything he can. He's lying in second place at the moment. He's got Brandon Smith ahead of him and is really starting to battle his way through.
Oh, I see the issue there. We've got two 77s on. Jason Kutsia is the second number 77 in fourth place. Brandon Smith is the first 77. Clear enough, I suppose? So bear with us as we dance around that Conan. Oh, did someone go wide? Something about that turn, man. It always looks like someone's going into the sand there. I'm just having a bit of deja vu.
Getting a little bit of PTSD there as we take a look. Thompson having a bit of a run as he's trying to keep it all together, getting chased down by cart number 69. That's a Boyd right behind. So Boyd that is really putting on the pressure onto the back of Thompson, really trying everything possible. Then we've got Jason Kutsia, who's just leaning on, trying to put a little bit of pressure. He wants to get that third place. But remember, it's a long game now, 10 laps, and you want to try and utilize the slipstream as you get pulled along. Wayman as well, trying to keep it all together, getting a lot of pressure put on him, but you can see cool as a cucumber as he makes his way around the circuit.
Speaking of cool, Boyd, our defending champion, is trying to keep his engine cool. Looks like he's running hot because I saw him making a radiator flap adjustment, opening it up violent as you want. So yeah, he might be having an overheat, using carefully early on in the race. Engine. Jason Kutsia hot on the heels there of is that Joseph Oles? My eyes perceive. We'll stand corrected in a bit, but as it stands, Smith brothers first podium. Wayland Wyman, there we go.
Wyman trying to keep it all together, and Jason's just constantly putting the pressure on at this point.
Yes.
Just really battling out to try and keep the momentum. You can see Wyman just wants to try and catch up to second place, but he's having to defend repeatedly from the attack of Kutsia. And Thompson slowly starting to creep up, and he's pulling Boyd with him. So Boyd rather hanging back, Thompson hanging back, and just utilizing the slipstream to pull each other along. And unfortunately, that's not going to work in the favor of Wyman.
Yeah, we'll see if Delon Thompson and Boyd are able to negotiate a proper campaign, take advantage of the battle with Wyman and Kutsia, because they're definitely slowing each other down. It looks like Kutsia has a bit more pace than Wyman, in my opinion. We'll see how that materializes as the laps go by. But as it stands, it is Brandon Smith out in front, along with Jamie Smith.
Brandon Smith really doing everything possible with Oles chasing down. Joseph Oles just really having a great run at this point, trying to get onto the back of first place. You can see Kutsia constantly pressurizing Wyman the whole time. Looks up the inside, a little bit of contact, and slows him up over the curb. Wyman recovering from there, but unfortunately Kutsia took too much of a dive and has lost out quite a bit, and that's just allowed Thompson to go up a little bit more. Sebastian managing to also get ahead, so Kutsia losing 2 positions on that move.
And he lost out to a man who knows this track like the back of his hand. Wyman does a lot of driver training here in Benoni. Kutsia, of course, a man from the coast, so he will be at a bit of a disadvantage when it comes to the track. This is the home track, of course, of our front 2 runners, Smith brothers, and they're definitely showing that is their turf. I mean, if you look at the gap, if you look at also their overall pace and the composure they have, nice lead change there. Jamie Smith
That was Brandon Smith retaking the
Ools.
position.
Yes,
Ools
yes.
just managing to hold through turn one. Come turn two, it looks like Brandon was just a little bit later on the brakes. Now Ools having to take a look on the outside, trying everything once again. Ools really looking for that gap. Wyman now starting to get onto the back and pull along. Wyman also getting a lot of pressure put onto him, and that looks like Thompson starting to make his way back up through the field. So Thompson, after having a little bit of a deep breath moment, is starting to climb back up. And it also looks like Kutsia trying to make his way past Boyd. And Boyd is driving so defensively at this point to hold it back.
That is it. Thompson trying to get past 26. Very familiar number. He's an old boy. He's been around the block. He knows exactly what he's doing in karting. But just a bit of clarity. It is my mistake. Due to the glare, Ulz's number 11 kart looks very much like a 77 kart. So just some clarity. Ulz is kart number 11 in 7th place. 2nd place behind Brandon and Jason there battling it out on but plenty of action. It looks like further afield, not necessarily the top. They're sort of biding their time, but as Boyd makes a move on, literally overtaking, that Jason Kutsia over the shoulder of Dylan Thompson. He does not look impressed. Oh no, Marshall's quick to the scene to help out. Dylan Thompson's nose cone is going north-south, it's going every direction, but luckily they're both able to recover. Nothing too hectic. It shows how far ahead. Oh my goodness, Jason Kutsia has a lot of work on his hands. Must be so frustrated.
That is definitely not what you want to do. And Jason just took too much of a little bit of a dive there. And unfortunately, no one wanted to give. And now you are so far back. The grid has literally passed you guys. You have to try and make it up.
And I just saw Dylan Thompson's father, Alan Thompson, walk past. He did not look impressed. Fuming. When you're racing and together, you want your guys at up grip. This time around, it's not working out. Boyd is pretty much ready to line up a move. If Ulz does this, what a nice move by Ulz. My goodness, he opened the door for Boyd as well. Just as I was mentioning his name, Brandon Smith leaving the door wide open. Oh man, he must be livid with himself because he was so composed the entire race.
It was all cool, calm, and collected until it all goes wrong. And Smith losing the position right down into third, now having to battle out. Ulz just a happy camper. Takes a look behind him, sees Boyd is really chasing him down now. You can see Boyd constantly putting nose to tail, trying to push his way through. Looks on the inside, decides he's rather going to hang back, keeping the slipstream. And you can see Smith really battling his way around as he tries to do it. Wayman starting to also slowly creep back into the picture as well.
And Ulz, of course, our defending champion. He wears what looks like a crown. He's the reigning king at the moment in that golden helmet. Boyd, rather, is the defending champion, hot on the trail of Ulz, who wants to stop.
So it's the king and his reign, Ulz, who's just trying to keep it all together up at the front. And then you got Boyd, who's just pressurizing on the back. And it looks like Smith starting to drop even more back. So a little bit of pace getting lost. And also in the times, he's also losing a bit. So not what he wants to do.
And we see a synchronized, I think that was a carb adjustment on the part of Ulz, who's actually in the lead, the 11 cart, and Boyd in second in the 69. Both of them adjusted their carbs at the exact same time. So similar strategies working in terms of air fuel mixture again, or brake by. Possibly one brake a bit later, wanting a stronger front. One is trying to defend and one is trying to attack. So it might be strengthening their front brake balance.
It's all about who can stand on the brakes latest and keep it all together.
Exactly.
That's, as we saw a little bit earlier, you can be later on the brakes, but it's all about keeping it together after you've done it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the composer afterwards. Can you keep what you've taken? But it looks like Joseph Ulz, the reigning king at the moment, at least as far as this heat is concerned, has kept it together, having taken away the lead from Sebastian Boyd, and he takes the checkered flag, looking over his shoulder. Not too sure of the pace he had, but he fist in the air, did very well to keep the lead there. Brandon Smith brings it home in third. Well done, Joseph Falls, the boy from Cape Town, proving that he's got what it takes to make the adjustment. Shake of the hands there, Brandon Smith, very well played, good sportsmanship seen there. Joseph Falls taking first place, very well driven by him. Sebastian Boyd in second, Brandon Smith in third, the homeboy, this is home circuit. Waylon Wyman, another very familiar with the Formula K circuit, in fourth place. Nicolas Spanoyanis, fifth. Nico Zafiris in sixth, and Ivan Brak in seventh place. Eighth place goes to Jason Kutsia. Ninth and 10th go to Jamie Smith, young of the Smith brothers, and Don Thompson.
Not a bad first race. Started fourth after difficult qualifying. Managed to finish second after a poor start where he dropped back a few positions, but yeah, overall I'm happy.
How's the track out there? Is it nice? Is it slippery?
Yeah, the track's very good. There's a lot of rubber. Obviously with National, everyone going on new. So yeah, it's very fast.
What is your tactics going to be for the second heat?
Sorry?
What's your battle plan for the second heat?
Just have a better start, obviously, and then our pace seems to be strong, so I just want to hold on.
Came in fourth. It's not too bad. My car died off after the fourth lap, so I mean, pretty happy with it. I mean, all the honor and the glory to God for putting me in this race and giving me the opportunity to be at least, you know. And I mean, I'm here to race for God and show them what God can do. So my tactics for the last race is to, the next two races is to put my head down and obviously do my best. My dad told me he found a few problems on the car, so we're going to sort that out and check what we have for the next lap, next sessions.
Yeah, no, it is extremely close. In the beginning, I just wanted to pull away with Brandon. I knew he had pace. So I hear that unfortunately his power valve stopped working halfway, I think, during the race, and that's why he couldn't get out some of the corners. And obviously that hampered him, so I decided to go for the overtake, and it paid off.
This track, have you driven it a lot, or are you used to it?
No, this is definitely not my home track. I've only come here once before, but credit to the guys who are working my car, of course my father, Leroy, and obviously Jared. Amazing setup, and I think that's what allowed us to win this race.
And coming up for the next two heats, how are you going to approach it?
Well, I suppose we're trying to use the same idea. It's always good to push away with someone. This class is extremely tight. And it's never usually a one-horse breakaway, so hopefully we will be able to possibly replicate this next race.
Tell us about the race. Things didn't quite go your way. What happened?
No, it was, it's been a good day. I'm happy with qualifying, but in the race, we led for the first couple of laps, and all of a sudden, I think I lost the power valve. But it's racing, it happens, so I just did my best. So it's okay. Bank the points.
What are you going to do for race 2?
Well, just I'd like to get back to the front, so we just got to go and chase down these Cape Town boys now. Get back to the front, and hopefully the car's sorted. But I'm sure I've seen the issue, so I'm sure we've sorted it out.
And you know this track?
Oh yeah, I spend most of my time. I spend every day. So.
Tell me things like they reverse the direction now. What should you prefer?
I think if they reversed it would be interesting. I think it's just a bit dangerous though with that first corner, But it would definitely be interesting, Even if they change the layout just for fun, it would be pretty good.
So it's going to be interesting as they make their way to the line to start heat number 2 right here at Formula K.
Let's see what Brandon Smith has to say about the previous heat. He's probably got a bit in his teeth, but Alls has a huge gap obviously going into... Whoa! Side-by-side action between Wayman and... Is that Boyd? Oh, too soon, boys. Too soon, lads. Wayman is off on the inside. Someone who's very familiar with this track. He would know better than to do that at a track like that. Or perhaps he was a bit subject to the actions of Boyd there, but the replays are an advantage. We have hindsight is 2020.
And all the drivers doing everything they can, fighting for position so far. Take a look at the front. Joseph trying to check out, but unfortunately getting chased down. And that's Smith right behind him. He's trying to force a mistake at this point and really push through. Jason Kutsia just also making his way around, wants to get away from the chaos behind him.
Oh, he absolutely has to. Jason Kutsia obviously would want to get the previous heat out of his mind, having come together with Don Thompson. So he, in his mind, probably wants to, get into that rhythm, get into that flow, and get out of the rut that potentially you could be in, having not had a chance to finish a clean heat before. So it should, oh, look at him getting a bit slippery and slidey there, and you can see the immediate advantage gained by Boyd because of that. I think Jason Kutsia might have outbraked himself trying to find a bit of pace where he did not need to, taking a qualifying stance in the way he's taking his cart around the turns there. But let's see if he's able to keep Boyd at bay. But yeah, I've got Brandon Smith there in the mix also. I see a Ricardo cart. Who is that young man?
That's Nicholas.
Nicholas Panoyanis. Yes, yes. I'm looking for Jamie Smith. Is that him in 10th? I think I'm looking for the 33 cart. He's in the Brill, of course. Yeah, he's in 10th place, so he's not. He's a bit of a way off in terms of representing the home team, having been so familiar, or rather he being so familiar with this circuit. But at the moment, Jason Kutsia leads the train that we see on your screens.
And you can see Jason having to go very defensive, goes up very wide, just pulls the cart back in before he collects the dirt. So close call, takes a deep breath there as he finds his way through. Boyd constantly putting the pressure on. Nicholas going and getting right onto the back of it. Nice to see Nicholas trying to get that a little bit more up through the field and is trying to force a mistake. Nicholas, we know from the previous seasons, knows how to drive. He knows how to put the pressure on constantly. And now he's back in once again, going after Boyd and Jason Kutsia at this point.
Yeah, exactly. And Boyd taking the lead there from Kutsia. And I was literally about to say that Kutsia is going to have to allow for a changeover to happen because he doesn't seem to have the pace to get the train back into contention with Alls and Smith. And I think he realized that and just allowed that move to happen. Didn't seem to mind Boyd. And you can see Boyd already starting to get a couple of cart lengths around this tighter section over here. Let's see what that becomes as laps progress. You can already see, Boyd was the man with the pace the entire time. Hopefully Spanianis is able to take advantage of the toe here and sort of run with Boyd and Kutsia, who may check out from this mid-pack battle very quickly. You can already see the kind of advantage that Boyd has.
Well, Nicholas keeping it very clean. If you take a look at his driving lines, it's a lot more precise than Boyd and Kutsia that are up in front of him. He's just taking it easy. He's watching, he's following the train, allowing the train to pull him along, and then we'll start looking at moves a little bit later into the race. So definitely playing the long game at this point, saying, right guys, you pull me along, you're making the mistakes, I know I can get past you, and let's try and catch up to Alls and Smith, who have really started pulling themselves away. 3.7 seconds away from the grid. Yeah. I mean, that's half a calendar away at this point.
Exactly. It's the next national away. How about that? But in terms of pace, it looks like Boyd and Kutsia are matched. They're not too far off the pace in terms of just per lap. They're 0.1 or 0.2 seconds apart. Hence, we actually haven't seen them, I don't know, do anything significant since the lead changeover happened for this train. But of course, Boyd may have a bit more pace than Kutsia, but there's nothing that is reeling in Smith or Alls. They're actually in a different race at the moment. If this mid-pack is in another calendar, they're ahead of the calendar that is being Alls and Smith. Someone who definitely has 4 cart lengths is Joseph Alls ahead of Brandon Smith. Very, I'd say very consistent effort on the part of Smith. He didn't necessarily fall away in terms of his pace, but Alls was just wow. Alls is in a class of his own, easy. This is the typical performance you would expect from Alls, and to see him bring it into DD2, man, I'm excited for what the class has to offer as we approach the home straight.
Definitely fighting his way down, had quite an impressive lead. Had to work a little bit to keep Smith at bay, but Alls coming across the line to take race number 2's checkered flag.
Absolutely. Crowning himself for a second time around for the day. One more to go, he points to the heavens. But it is Joseph Alls king for the day in his second win for DD2. Brandon Smith in second, Sebastian Boyd in third, Jason Kutsia, Nicholas Spanianis, Nico Zafiris Divan Brak and Wayland Wyman, unfortunately, fell away. That is your top 8. Delon Thompson and Jamie Smith wrap up the field of 10.
So, give us a run through of the last heat for you.
Better. I know we fixed a couple issues on the cart. I'm glad we could get back to the front. I tried to catch down Ultz, stayed with him for a couple laps, but he's quick. So I just bagged the points. I'm glad we got second. But we just got to find a little bit more pace for the last race. Hopefully now, we just keep it there at the top. But overall, I'm pretty happy.
We had a bit of pressure from the guys near the end, but what happened early in the race? Someone cut you off, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a difficult start with obviously Delon not making the start, so I had to leave a cart length. Then into turn 2, Wayland spun in front of me, managed to just miss him somehow, and then I was already quite a way off the leaders, so then I just had to put my head down and push.
And so for the final race, you're hoping to bag the final heat, or are you hoping to pull out the hat?
Final heats, hopefully to get a better start again. I've had not so many good starts today, and then hopefully hang on to the leaders and have a good race.
Can you run through the race? How does it start? Any sort of hiccups or no?
No real hiccups. For me it is a regulation start. From then onwards, I think there was a bit of a tussle behind me and Brandon and I, which allowed us to pull a gap. And I think it was just a race of consistency. And I think consistency won the race. But again, thanks to the Extreme team. It's an amazing card setup, and it's going well so far.
And then just going to the final heat, just going to pull the same tactics, or you?
Yeah, I suppose so. Everyone, every race is stepping up their game, I'm sure. But it's going to be an interesting last race. I expect Brandon and of course Seb and Jason and the others to obviously up their game and be with us. But an amazing race. I'm very pleased with what happened.
King of the scene right now. Those are fools, man. What a comeback, starting after a 2-year sabbatical. Do people take sabbaticals at such a young age? Topic for another day, maybe. Because away they go as Kutsia gets a strong start. Yes, that is Jason. Is that? Ooh, Brandon Smith. How aggressive do you want it? Wow, brilliant move. Boyd in third place behind. Jason Kutsia just lost out to Brandon Smith. Very nice driving there. Let's see how things materialize.
And fourth place seems to be the king, who's trying to work his way through as well. But Brandon Smith,
yes,
very clever. Get in front. Try go as fast as you can. He knows that he's got some very competitive races behind him.
Yeah.
But if Ulz is now caught up in fourth place, he will be able to try and stretch his legs out a little bit more. He has got the pace, and then he's shown it over Jason Kutsia and over Sebastian Boyd. So let's see if he'll be able to do it. Ulz diving up the inside, getting aggressive.
That's how you do it. Well done from Ulz, making sure not to leave it up till late. He was going to lose out a lot if he was following a slower man. Wayland Wyman, they're getting a bit of hang time, taking a curb aggressively. Of course, with DD2, you can take the curbs a lot more aggressively than the younger and smaller engine class. Looking at, nice move back on Ulz there. Very clean from Kutsia. Ulz very, very generous with the space he gave him.
Ulz is just going and figuring out the long game. Go and let Jason wear himself out constantly on the defense, because you remember it's a lot harder to try and hold everyone back. Makes a move up on the inside, and now Ulz into second place, going after Smith. Jason's going to try and follow. He has to just keep calm and pull his way up. And now he's also got Boyd that's chasing him down. They had a tussle before. If he can keep up with Ulz, keep up with the king, he will be able to move up the positions and also get that spacing between himself and Sebastian Boyd.
Absolutely. Keep up with the king. You might get promoted from being a prawn.
Exactly.
Eventually. Become a bishop.
That's it. But as we go on out of the chess scene into the motor racing scene, Smith absolutely dominating so far, putting a nice bit of spacing between himself and Joseph Ulz. 1.1 seconds currently, which is a little bit of a country mile. They're starting to try and draw him in, but Smith has got open air. He needs to just keep it going. Ulz constantly looking over his shoulder and seeing that Jason is looking left and right. He's on the defensive game now, and Jason is not giving up. He's relentless at this point, going after it.
Indeed. Just shocked. I am so shocked. How far ahead Brandon Smith? 1.1 seconds. Young man, where did you find that? The race is 3 laps old. This is just pure experience. This is just him knowing what to do to get the best out of the kart. And also, as the day progresses, the conditions of the kart and the conditions of the track rather change. You know, there's not much there's not much that you can do if, say, you're inexperienced about the way to set up your kart, the way to set up your engine at a specific time of day for a specific kind of grip. I think he's really enjoying the benefits of knowing this kart well. Brandon Smith seems to like his kart leaning back a bit more. I don't know if it's a height thing or the illusion created by his helmet, but he really seems to be, you know, relaxed, lounging.
Don't think for too long as the barrel of Ools is going and bearing down on him right now, trying to look for any bit of gap possible. Ools does run a bit of a tighter line, tries to go on the inside, looking outside. Brandon telling him just go, don't worry about it. So a bit of an interesting move there. I think Brandon not wanting to get too much into a fight with Ools and slow each other up.
Yeah, I think he was very worried. He's more worried about the potential damage that could come with Jason. Jason is quick and he was ready to pounce if Brandon had bunched the pack up back into Jason. So he's just making sure that there's still a respectable gap for him to be comfortable ahead of Jason, but also close enough to Ools.
He did do a little bit of work on his engine on the straight, so obviously there's something that's just bugging him in the little back of the head. Decided rather not to fight Ools, get behind him, use the toe, try pull each other along. Maybe he realized that there's something that's just not giving him that little bit of speed that's needed. And you can see immediately Jason right onto the back of him and pushing him as hard as he can. Boyd also getting onto that train, and I think Smith may have
in trouble.
Something is going on
Smith
with
is
him.
in trouble,
Leaving
definitely
it wide
a performance
open.
deficit. Boyd also in. Yeah, no, there definitely is something wrong with Smith's kart at the moment. But so Boyd now, I guess, back in podium conversations. Let's see what he's able to do in terms of challenging Jason Kutsia. But if I have the reference of Heat 2 to go by, Jason Kutsia had a lot more legs than Sebastian Boyd, and he wasn't necessarily able to trouble him.
Once again, Smith on the main straight, going back to the engine, doing a little bit of work. So there is something there. He's doing fine tunes on the motor, I think, just trying to get it to get back on song for the remaining of the race. He needs to get in front of Boyd and Kutsia, maximize the points. He needs to do it.
We're looking at Cape Town 1, 2, 3, but in particular the 2 and 3 of this equation. Jason Kutsia and Sebastian Boyd know each other very well. They were involved in a battle which Boyd won last, the reigning champion. And in familiar and unfamiliar territory, I'd say, with Boyd, he's accustomed to having a lot more pace and being able to challenge a bit more. So it looks like he should be in a position to actually overtake, with Jason Kutsia losing some of the pace. I mean, look how close Boyd is able to get to him. I think Jason might have to open the door at some point if they want to get closer to Ools. But at this point, I mean, it's lap 9 of 10. You might, in Boyd's mind, he just wants to leave it maybe to the last corner.
Jason going to the right hand of the motor just to go and on the right hand side just to try and sort out. So that tells me he's doing that little bit of fine tuning just to push it right till the line, though. Boyd constantly pressurizing him, looking inside, looking outside, on the back of him. And this is where it starts getting a bit tricky. And you can see that Ools is just having a fun run at the front. He's checked out, he's away from it. But the battle for second at the moment is turning into a major race. As you can see, Kutsia trying to hang on tooth and nail at this point. Boyd doing everything, takes a tighter line and moving around. But there we go. The king is coming to the throne. and that is Uls just taking a nice, easy run here at Formula K, soaking it all in for the day as he marches down to take the checkered flag.
Soaking. Is that a pun, Steve? Well done, mate. And well done to Joseph Uls, taking Heat 3 in a fashion that only Joseph Uls can take it. Clean, comfortable, well ahead of the pack. Overall, for Heat 3, we're looking at Joseph Uls, Jason Katsia, and Sebastian Boyd in third. Brandon Smith, fourth. Mechanical difficulty, a long way off. Nicholas Spanuyanis in fifth. Wayland Wyman in sixth. Nico Zafiris in seventh. And in eighth place goes to Ivan Brak.
How was the last race for you?
Tough last race. We lacked a bit of pace, but we started on pole and we had a poor start. But yeah, third place, decent points, I guess. On to the next one.
How did it go for you?
It went really well. Started second. Then as we went down to turn 1, I got a big shunt and got pushed wide. And then from there on, I just tried staying on the track. I just bank results I can, and yeah, I think it was pretty decent, I think.
Yeah, no, it's been an amazing day today. Can't thank my team enough, the Extreme team. Done an amazing job. It's great to come to such a world-class track and be able to race it. It prepares us for what could be the world final. And yeah, as I said, just an amazing race. We had a great pace today, and yeah, just perfect. I'm so thrilled.